Did CJ Stroud just have the best rookie quarterback year ever? I wanted to find out for myself, so I had my team look up the 10 best rookie quarterback seasons of all time, and we decided in order of most to least recent: CJ, Justin Herbert, Kyler Murray, Baker Mayfield, Dak Prescott, Andrew Luck, Robert Griffin III, Russell Wilson, Cam Newton, and Ben Roethlisberger. FYI, Burrow was on pace for it, but he tore his ACL, I think, like week 7 or week 8. Statistically speaking, if he had played the whole year, it would have been on this list. I wanted to break down 3 throws from this season just to see for myself, and then I'll give you my answer at the end. But before we do that, if you or a quarterback in your life are looking to get better, I run the QB Summit Tour, 8 stops around the country. It's a 2-day weekend. 3 days is an option as well, coming in Friday. And middle school and high school quarterbacks, I've been doing these for 10 years and been super impactful in young players, not just the on the field stuff, but the off the field side of what goes into quarterback. And I cover it all. If you have interest or someone in your family has interest, go ahead and send them to qbsummit.com. Let's get into the tape. First up, this is from the Cleveland Browns game. Just FYI for context, the Browns had the #1 overall defense and the #1 pass defense in the league. CJ's stat line, 16 for 21. That's 76%, 275, 3 touchdowns, no picks. All right, this is early in the game here. CJ's getting his eyes down to this side over here. Front side, we got a little whip route. We got tight end doing something similar here. And then we've got an over route, and that's going to bring this safety with him. And I don't 100% really know what Nico's route is. I think it might be like a dig and go or something vertical. But I think also once he sees this safety cut the crosser, he realizes that this corner is out of position. He throws his hand up. And now let's get CJ in the pocket. He starts front side, able to just stay in place, take a big hit, great adjustment by his receiver. But just for young guys, I mean, like, honestly, anybody coming into the league, if they're getting drafted, particularly if they're getting drafted high, they can make all the throws. You know, they've played at a high level. They've completed a lot of balls. Not all rookies see the field fantastic. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of information being processed. So not every rookie just, boom, sees the field and sees who's coming open. We see it on TV. Not every rookie sees it from back in this position with a free runner. Boom. Look at that. That's a car crash right there. And he's able to just find Nico Collins, push the ball down the field for a huge play. There were several in this game. All right, next clip is from the Colts game. This is the play-in game. As far as I'm concerned, it was a playoff game. You got to win it to get into the playoffs. Therefore, it feels, looks, smells like a playoff game. Check this stat line, 20 for 26, 76%. Again, 264, 2 touchdowns, no picks. There's a theme there on the no picks thing. The 2nd and 13, and it's a tie game in the 4th quarter with 6 minutes left. This is a seed. I mean, this is a courageous throw. You're getting smoked, but also this is pre-snap knowing what we got. Now, what they're running here looks like a post. What it is they're in a tight split. So they're selling out route. They're selling a sail. They're selling like an 18-yard speed cut, and then it's a shake. There's different ways to run it or call it. But they're selling this and then getting back underneath, and it looks like it's mirrored. He kind of gets held up at the top, and we're kind of going either or. This safety, this middle field safety is in a lateral bind. And look at CJ here. By the way, 7 and a hitch from under center. That's not in Ohio State's offense. That's not in Diamond Bar's offense. So there's a lot of new stuff he's doing. Yeah, he's throwing a lot of balls and he's played at a high level. But I don't believe that Ohio State takes 7 and a hitch from under center. And here he is in week 18, and really all season. But in week 18 with the game on the line, tie ball game, 4th quarter, coming back here, 7 and a hitch, getting absolutely smoked. Again, he's looking at this middle field safety. He knows he's protected, even though we got a whiff on this game right here in the back. Singletary whiffs on the chip. Not a chip, but whiffs on helping out. And CJ able to just get his feet underneath him. This is like a jump fadeaway from the corner. Swish. Hits the dude in the nose. That's a 30-yard ball. There's velocity on it for a huge conversion. And, you know, these receivers are making plays. Ball placement is helping put the receivers in positions to make plays. A lot of highlights to go through for CJ. This is one of them. It's not a touchdown. It's not an 80-yard gain, but it's a gotta-have-it situation where this dude is putting himself in a new position every single time with all these drops and all this footwork they're doing, and has pressure and identifies coverage and puts the ball exactly where he intended, which is very difficult to do. Third, this is a great concept. I love this. This is fringe red zone. This is like the 16-yard line, right? So typically the way that you organize your red zone offense is from the 2, 3, 4-yard line whenever you're going to kind of put in your pass concept to the 10. And then so the +3 to the +10, and then from the +11 to the +20, and then you'll have some kind of zone outside from like the 20 to the 25. And that when you got the dude calling the play with, the laminated call sheet covering his mouth, like that's a lot of times how it's organized. And so how about this concept? So we got a bunch here to the right. It's empty. Let me rewind it. They motion the back out. Okay. So they're getting a man zone tell. That's telling me it's most likely zone. It's not 100%, but it's most likely zone. Okay. And then we're going to get an inside release post, kind of like an over route. Tank Dell, one of the most underrated players in this last draft, showed out. One of the few people that called it. There were some maybe your favorite teams, GMs, that I literally said, this dude's going to be drafted 2 rounds too late. And Texans took him in the 3rd round. Could have made an argument he's a 1st-round pick off of productivity. And then we're going to put Dalton Schultz. This is typically accompanied with a whip route. Okay, I'm going to widen and come back underneath. But watch him when they do this. He's actually coming here, stuttering and getting depth here because that's going to lift. This post is going to lift that corner. And a lot of times this flat defender, let me clear this out. This flat defender knows that route. Okay, they left here, whip, coming back underneath. And so sometimes you can get that stutter, like that's your late check down on the sideline and there's nothing left. Like I wouldn't be surprised if we watch the tape that Dalton Schultz has scored on that, even though it's kind of a weird route. And then up top, this is for a different concept, but this is a lot of times called slice speed cut, and he's just going one step underneath. So there's man concepts we like that first. And we're a lot of times just high-lowing this, but they got the look for the double post. Okay, 85's down the middle of the field. Look at the effect it has on this safety. Okay, and now we need Tank Dell to even just for a step right here. Here's Tank Dell right here. Okay, so just watch him. He needs to just widen him. Look at him. Goes out, in, out, just to put the DB on his outside. And look at that. Right now, CJ knows, but here's where CJ's hands come apart. Boom. So here's what he sees. CJ's already started his throwing motion, and look at this ball placement. Got to get it up. 24 can dive and make that play if it's on his waist. But look at this ball placement. Let's check it from behind. CJ has the look. Go ahead and take that inside post. I'm coming outside with it. Quick release, ball placement. We want that thing up on his eyes or 6 or 7 feet off the ground. Let him catch, tap, boom. That is like routes on air for the best quarterbacks in the league. CJ played like one of the best quarterbacks in the league this year. So plays like that are automatic. For me, like a jumper from like the elbow is not automatic. For NBA players, it is. For some NBA players, a fadeaway 3-pointer from the corner is not automatic. For me, it's not. For some NBA players, that is automatic. These are the types of throws where you go like, that's a 3-pointer with a dude in your face that you're hitting most of the time. You're hitting it way more often than you're missing it. And for a young guy to come into the league and play at that level, super impressive. Now, remember, CJ missed 2 games this year with a concussion. Had he played one more game, he was going to be on pace to break Andrew Luck's record. Had he played both those games, he would have shattered Andrew Luck's record for rookie passing yards. Of the top 10 quarterbacks from the rookies that we talked about, only 2 of them actually won a playoff game. That is CJ and Russell Wilson when he was with the Seahawks. So has CJ had the best statistical season by a rookie quarterback ever? No. You got Justin Herbert, Dak Prescott, and Andrew Luck own most of those records, again, going back to rookie year. But this is the most impressive one. Him and coaching staff, the great new head coach, pass rusher, they got a lot of new pieces there, new GM. They've completely resurrected the Houston Texans football team. Now look at this. The last 3 years, 3-13-1, 4-13, and 4-12. That's their record the last 3 seasons. So where he doesn't own the actual yards or the actual touchdowns on that list of best rookie seasons ever, it's the turnaround for me that's most impressive. It's the way he carries himself. You see it in the post-game interviews. You see it on social. And if any of you are watching this know him and been around him like I have, this is just one of the most impressive young men I've met. So while he doesn't own every single statistical record for every rookie, I would say this is the most impressive rookie season I've seen, because what he doesn't own number 1 on the list in the stats, he's like 2 or 3, but it's the turnaround of the franchise and it's the belief that they have going into next year, which when you draft somebody 2nd overall, if you can make the playoffs, awesome. But we want to make sure we got the guy and that we can build on him for the next half to full decade. And if you're a Houston Texans fan, I think you're feeling really good about that box getting checked. I had a blast watching CJ play this year. I'm going to have a blast diving deeper in his tape over the next couple of months, but I can't wait to see when they really build around this kid what the Houston Texans offense is going to look like.